good afternoon, and very good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Welcome to VUEGRAPHY. Okay, so today we are going to talk about some hardware related to photography or videography. And it's not the camera, it's not the lens, it's the third most important thing which you need to do photography. Yeah, of course, the lens is number one, then you need camera, and after that, the very first accessory that you go for once you have the camera and the lens. That's what we are going to talk about and its importance. Yep, we are going to talk about the tripod. Yep, tripod. How important this tripod is and what exactly we do with this accessory. Uh, Well, of course, well, all the landscape photographers, all the portrait photographers, they need not the portrait. Most like nine landscapers, almost 100% of them needs tripod. It comes with different sizes, different categories, different material they build from, and their capacity basically at their price depends on how much load they can carry, especially if you're using the big heavy lenses like 400 2.8 500 f4 600 f4 stuff like that. So that's where when you go to these type of lenses, then you not able to have this small head. You need gimbal. So gimbal is another topic which will talk separately some other day, but right now this is about the importance of tripod. Here's the thing. I have seen all the professionals. I'm not talking, especially the Western and European countries. eh, Of when it comes to landscape, this is the must. You need tripod to get the stable shot because you are shooting at slow shutter speed, because you have to minimize the ISO to get the best dynamic range and the best of everything from the camera sensor. So you have to lower down your shutter speed. So that's where you need this tripod to get a stable shot. I'm not talking about IBIS, I'm not talking about lens VR or VC or IS function. I'm just talking about this one specific thing. All right, that's all I need. That's all I'm going to talk about. When it comes to DSLR, before the mirrorless era, kicks in, all the landscape photographer were using tripod, and most of the portrait photographer also using tripod. Now, some of you will say, why we need this for, why we need this thing for portrait? Well, I saw Joe McNally and many other portrait photographers who use tripod religiously for taking portraits in studio or in outdoor. The reason is, once you have this tripod, your camera is stable, so you can minimize your shutter speed to 160, 150, 180, 100, and you won't get micro blur even if you shooting with high megapixel camera, especially 33 megapixel, especially 33 megapixel and more. If you have these number of megapixel in your camera, like 40, 45, 50, 61, all these megapixels, if you have these megapixels in your camera, then you need tripod, because tripod will eliminate the micro blur which you cannot see with the naked eye once you are, you know, uh, viewing the image, full screen, like full view. You can't see. But when you go to 100%, that's where you will see micro blur. And tripod is basically very important to reduce that micro blur, especially when it comes to portrait. I will put some examples in front of you on the screen where I shot with tripod. I was shooting with D850 and other high resolution cameras. And the tripod, when I first bought the D850, after 1 week I realized that in order to get tech sharp images, like really, I need to use tripod for D850, because D850 are having like 4 times the resolution of D700 or D3, D3S, which I was using at that time, which I'm still using. And I realized that by having 4 times the resolution, it means that if there is slight blur in one pixel, that will be multiplied by 4 times. So whatever you do at 12 megapixel, whatever the mistakes you do that you do at 12 megapixel, in 40, 45 and 50 megapixel, it basically multiply by 4 times, which is crazy. And you will see all those mistakes big on the screen when you do editing. So tripod is basically helps to reduce those micro blur in your images. Not only the micro blur, but also get you the tech sharp images. Now, what do you mean by tech sharp and the difference between tech sharp and micro blur? Here's the thing: even the best lens in the world or the best IBIS in camera cannot eliminate subject shaking. If your subject is shaking, it won't. What IBIS has a limit. IBIS kicks in your camera from 250 shutter speed and low, then IBIS kicks in or the lens VR kicks in. I have well, you keep lowering your shutter speed from 250 to 125, then 60, then 30, then 15, then eighth of the shutter speed, then quarter, then half, then 1 full second. So these are the steps that your IBIS kicks in. The maximum that you can take a handheld shot without tripod using the IBIS and the VR is somewhere, if you are really good in hand holding the camera, with a good technique. So using the IBIS and lens VR and all this, you can maximum go to up to 2.5 seconds. From 2 to 2.5 seconds of exposure you can take and get away with tech sharp images. But by using the tripod and lens VR and all that, not the lens VR, especially the IBIS, you can go further long exposure without any issue. I have shot many portraits and also the other images by just putting the camera on tripod. I was using D850, no, not sorry, not D850, D3S, and I was using 45-year-old 80 to 200 f4.5 AI lenses, which was manual focus, all metal made, no lens VR, no lens VC or IS, and there was no IBIS in D3S, and I just used the tripod. For portrait, if I taking my time, I don't have to move around, then I use tripod all the time. It's very important. You will get sharp images by having this thing. Regardless, for macro, you need tripod. Without tripod, you can't shoot macro. Landscape, you can't shoot, you know, landscape with macro. Without tripod. With high, with long lenses 600 f4, you need tripod with gimbal head to shoot, and do panning and all that. For sports action wildlife, you need tripod. So tripod is essentially the first accessory that you can go with and get away. So you have to invest very wisely what kind of tripod you have to go with. People all say, well, we need carbon fiber tripod to, which is lightweight, so good for traveling, which is good, sounds good. But I have the carbon fiber tripod, which is I'm shooting on right now. This is the second tripod that I'm using. I use from Benro. I found the tripod from Benro really good. They are really robust, but the main quality of the tripod not only comes with the material it made, is basically that gimbal head. That's basically the defining factor. This gimbal head. That's basically the defining factor of how good the tripod is. Besides not only the material, like all this, you see the material it's made from and how flexible it is and all that. So this is the tripod and it fixes and I can shoot it. Just wait, let me show you. So there's 1, 2, 3. So in order to close this, 1, 2, 3, and then close. So that's how you close. If you have clip-on, then of course you can do the similar by the clip-on. So I am opening this tripod. Wait. For video making, you need tripod. Of course, you need that tripod. Okay, it's going above the screen. Wait a second. Okay. All right. Oh, now it's fine. All right. So this is the tripod that you have to care about. How good the head is, not the tripod, head is. Most of the time, the head itself is more expensive than the tripod. Some of the tripod comes without head, but their durability, the material, the robustness, and how good the claws are in order to fix in the ground. That's also the defining factor of the tripod. Uh, Not only that, the the head basically, the price of the head, it basically is uh, uh, defines how much load it can carry. I don't much I don't put much load on the tripod on the head much, so my head is just the normal ones, not the special ones. There are people who are very keen about the heads, and they spend much on the head rather than the tripod, but that's their factor. For me, I work with this because it works for me. So I use Benro tripod, and sometimes there is another brand called Sirio. There's another brand I used, and they works for me. Regardless, in the end of the day, tripod is really important. I mean, if you think you can get away, especially with the long lenses, and you can take sharp images without any difficulty, uh, without using tripod, you will, the total number of keepers will be far less. But if you're having tripod and you use the camera and lens on the tripod, the number of keepers will be much more. By the way, there is an argument that people were saying if you are shooting sports action wildlife, you can't use tripod. That's true. That's very true. But there is a thing called monopod. So instead of using tripod, you use monopod to move the camera around quickly. That's what monopod is made for. Tripod has 3 legs. Monopod got 1 leg. So you put the same head, same all this movable head and everything. Same goes for monopod. It's just that instead of 3 legs, monopod got 1 leg. So you can easily move around and take the shot. It helps in carrying the load because the long lenses are very heavy with the heavy DSLR or mirrorless camera. So you will get fatigue very quickly on your shoulders and arms to when you move around into the stadium or chasing birds or animals. That's very difficult. So that's where the tripod or monopod helps you to not only shed the load but also take the sharp images. My suggestion: better spend a little more money on buying a good quality tripod rather than cheap quality tripod, because this is what I learned through hard way, that in photography the cheap product always ends up expensive. Always. Just keep that in mind. Regardless if it's a lens, if it's a camera, it's a tripod or any other accessory. Any cheap product that you buy in the world of photography just to save money will always end up expensive. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys in future with some new content. Till then, take care.